Hello, I'm Louisa Nixon, the Confidence Whisperer. I want to talk about something today for 5 minutes with you. 5 gravitropic minutes. We all carry a story inside, the story of who we are, the story we identify with. 5 minutes after we were born, or sometime we were given a name, a sex, a religion, a class, country we live in. And that's the story of who we identify with, as who we are. And so often at the center of this story, there's a deep wound inside. Or maybe a collection of wounds and scars. It's how we begin to define who we really are. And it's how we draw conclusions about ourselves. Like we go, these things happened, so that means, what that means to me is I'm not wanted. These things happened, or what that means is I am way too much of a person, so I should just step back a bit. These things happened, so now I'm actually, what that meant, what those people did, it means I'm not worthy of life. These other things happened, and then the meaning that means to my map is I'm unlovable. The problem is all of this is usually going on before you're 7. So your child blueprint mind on how to get through life and stay alive is in your child mind. The problem is that programming is now running your adult mind decisions, right? And I've been exploring with you over the last few days, if you've been following, about estrangement and a bit of grief. And like, basically sometimes we can get so much significance about that wound is that becomes our identity. But like, it's like if you have diabetes, you're not your diabetes. Your diabetes is just something happening within your body. Anyway, sometimes we take that on and we embody it like an actor, fully giving themselves to a starring role. And under that healing paradigm, we create this really elegant design to process the meaning of it all, to resolve it, to move our way through it, to transform through it. But this shift actually brings something else forward. And when we go looking for a specific pattern, we will find it. So if I say, I'm a terrible dancer, guess what? You'll go looking and you'll go, yeah, see, I am a terrible dancer. I told you, because I haven't danced much and never had lessons. But see, with lessons, it could get better. So with recognition, we're not trying to hunt down the pattern. We just trust that anything that needs to be revealed will reveal itself. So how does a story like that ever truly loosen its hold? Like, I had a story about myself that if I was going to do anything wrong, I would do it the wrong way. Anyway, little silly things like that, it loosens when you're no longer standing inside that wound. It loosens the charge of it. And from that, like, kind of wider perspective, from the valley that you've opened up between you and the ouchy bit, that localized wound story about you is still there, but it's only as valid as you want it to be. It's really, the prison's in your mind, the keys are in your pocket, but you are more. And from here, you start to realize that you have a far greater story than the one that you thought you were trapped inside. It's Hayden Patnier's birthday today. She would have turned 37, same age as my son. And I'm reading her book, This Is Me, A Reckoning. She unfortunately didn't emerge from her place of not knowing which reality would be okay and safe. Beautiful Hayden, I'm sending you love today. But about 10 years ago, I found myself in a bit of a similar world. It's not the Trauma Olympics. We all have a battle that means something to us. And when I came out of that situation, what that situation meant to me, I just didn't relate to myself the same way, because old Louisa felt a bit more like somebody else's story. It didn't have as much charge in it. And what was once impossible for Louisa in the shade became possible. And because I was believing that story about myself, that there was no way for me to earn money, that I would do everything the wrong way. So can you believe this? A smart person like me one Sunday thought, yes, just avoid all these hard decisions because they're so uncomfortable and I'm going to die. I know I'll end my life, honestly. And it wasn't because that wasn't my truth. Inside my wound, that felt like the only story available to me. And Louisa in the shade couldn't see another way. I could not see the wider picture. Sometimes when you're scared, fear makes you see the world through a very narrow lens. And I could not see that there was a whole other world waiting for me. I just had to reach out and take it. And I didn't see that there was a version of myself who could one day speak these words to you guys. I guess I had to go through that to get to here, but it's not the whole story, because as I keep looking backward, I realize the person that my identity has shaped its way into is actually based by all the people that I've been lucky enough to hold in my heart and love. And what was once impossible for me to see, can't see the forest for the trees, the picture became brighter and larger. But not just that, I was willing to take the risk to see what was behind that door. And it was scary and hard. And you have to get it wrong 9 times out of 10. But Olympians aren't born Olympians, and the door will open wider. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. And let me ask you something that will open you up a bit more. Who are you without your story? Who are you right now? If you set all the stories down, even for a minute, the one that appears when those ouchy, painful stories are set down, it's the one who was never really wounded. And that one is continually birthing being you, your identity that's being shaped like clay by all the people that have been around you. And truly, you're capable of more than you could ever imagine. Once you surrender to it, your story is free, and it's always been a miracle waiting to be noticed. So let's just land here. You may notice a part of you thinking, okay, but what do I do? How do I make this feel better, faster? How do I make this happen today? And look, trust me, over these last 10 years, that freeze response is completely normal. We're discomfort avoiders, not pleasure seekers. We're conditioned to search for the next thing to fix, the next thing to understand, the next thing to process, the next news story. But the reminder is this: the power of now. You are doing it right now. As you listen to these words, taking the time for you. There's a neuroscience to self-love. You teach other people how to treat you. As you become aware of your awareness, as you remember, there's nothing to fix, nothing to force. This is making sure that you get your needs met. Nothing you need to become in order to be whole. I want you to notice what's possible. I want you to notice the vastness of your potential story. The only thing that's really separating you is fear and belief. And when you are ready, let your story widen. If anything resonated with you today, this is the work I do with Rewire Emotional Mastery, because I believe in the power of an organized mind, and I help you go in to see why you started to believe these stories that were programmed on you when you were a child. And we pull them out at the root and change it. I used to believe in Santa. Yeah, we make a lot of our kids do this too. And I assure you, I don't believe in Santa anymore. Sounds silly, I know, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Thank you for your time. And if you'd like me to send you a free 5-minute Rewire Emotional Mastery to help you feel better today, just write me below, or Rem, and I'll send it to you. I'm Louisa, the Confidence Whisperer. Have a beautiful Friday and a great weekend. Big love.